Ladies and gentlemen, so our show today is the forum. The topics of the forums today is the discussion of inflation and the unemployment problem in Switzerland. Without wasting any time, let me introduce you our guests. Yang Berhormat Dato Arif Izuddin, Minister of Human Resources. Yang Berhormat Dato Safiq Wan Aliuddin, Minister of Economy. Yang Berhormat Dato Ammar Amsyar, the Minister of Finance. And our last guest is Yang Berhormat Dato Alif Imran, the Minister of Health. This is the statistic of Switzerland's inflation rate from 2005 to 2020. The graph shows the inflation rate from 2005 and 2020 from this point. In year 2008, the rate of inflation increased drastically to 2.43%, which is the highest, with annual change from previous year as much as 1.69%. Inflation in Switzerland and other countries is usually calculated as the percentage change in the consumer price index (CPI) from year to the next. The factor that lead to the Switzerland's inflation, because when there is the demand pull effects happens in that country, it is because the Switzerland's economy is experiencing an increasing of demand for consumer goods. Furthermore, the cost push effect is one of the factors that has been contribute to Switzerland's inflation. Let's take a look to the unemployment graph. The unemployment rate is measured by the percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment. Switzerland is one of the countries which have low unemployment rate, does not pass 6 rate in the past 15 years. The factors which lead to the increasing of unemployment rate that happens in Switzerland is because people keep leaving their job to seek for a better one. Furthermore, the aggregate demand for the goods and services are dropped drastically. This will force the manufacturer for lay off a larger number of workers, an objective to cut a high cost. Subsequently, the workers' skills are not longer matched with a job that available which can contribute to an unemployment in this country. Switzerland primarily thrives due to its service factor, which partially profit from larger amounts of tourism. Switzerland is the country that known with their beautiful nature and scenery. The Switzerland have a list of population which they still can manage or maintain their low unemployment rate. Furthermore, the manufacturing sector also play an important role to keep the unemployment rate to maintain and not to increase. The manufacturing sector contribute 25.6% of its gross domestic product (DGP) in 2017, and Switzerland's become a world's largest exporters. The product of well-known from Switzerland is the high-end clock and watches. Moreover, the agriculture sector also contributed to the unemployment rate as they contribute 0.7 gross domestic product (GDP) of Switzerland in 2017. The Switzerland's governments are protective. They are giving subsidies for farmers as well as high tariff to encourage domestic agriculture practices. This will encourage the people in Switzerland to work in this sector. The manufacturer can increase the workers which can produce more products and at the same time help to reduce an unemployment. My first question, let me ask Dato Arif. Dato Arif, can you give more specifically explanation about the population or the main sector in Switzerland?
Thanks for inviting me to this forum today. My name is Muhammad Izuddin bin Muhamad. I am a Human Resource Minister. Today I want to talk about Switzerland population. Starting from 2005 to 2020, year 2005 until 2010, Switzerland population is 7,808,675 people with 1.12% yearly change. Migrant network is 68,974. Medium age is 41.6. The urban population is 73.8%. Year 2010 until 2015, population is 8,296,775 people. Yearly change 1.22%. Migrant network 79,453 people. Median age is 42.2. Urban population 73.9%. Year 2019. Population is 8,591,365 people. Yearly change is 0.77%. Migrant network is 52,000 and the median age urban population is the same with the previous year. Lastly, year 2020 population is 8,654,622 people. Yearly change is 0.74%. Migrant network is 52,000 people. Medium age 43.1. Urban population is 74.1%. That's all for me for population. Switzerland is a rich country because of the industry that has contributed to the economy. Switzerland has 5 main sectors that contributed to the country economy. The first is the agriculture industry, contributed 0.7% of the gross domestic product. 60% of the food are locally made thanks to the agriculture industry. Secondly is manufacturing industry. It contributed 25.6% of its gross domestic product, helping the country to become one of the largest exporters in the world. For example, pharmaceutical industry. Thirdly is its service industry, such as tourism, bringing in a whopping 73.7% of the country's gross domestic product. The fourth is banking industry that is known for its foreign protection. And Zurich Cantonal Bank is one of the most secure banks in the world. Lastly, the fifth industry is tourism. Switzerland revenue up to 60.8 billion every year thanks to the country's top-rated place to visit, such as Rhine Falls and Lake Geneva.
Thank you, Dato' Arif, for the explanation. My next question for Dato' Safiq. Dato', can you tell us about the national income and the national debt of the Switzerland?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Alright, according to the graph during 2019 until 2020, the graph has slightly decreased due to the impact of coronavirus. The economic growth during that years are slow due to the lack of economic activity in the country. It is because most of them can work. The company can operate their business and etc. And that was the biggest factor and effect of coronavirus for our national income. For example, the tourism industry. The tourism industry are the main sector that contribute the highest national income and GDP in Switzerland. But during coronavirus outbreak, this industry cannot produce the highest income for national income because most of the tourism company didn't get the most tourism than usual. For the national debt, the graph has shown that the reduction of the national debt on 2018 and until 2019, the expenditures that government has made covering the expense of military system in order to power power up and strengthen the military manpower. Next, educational, and last on the medical sector. The decrease of the government debt happened because the highest debt that government made and the cut of the spending to the country.
From the graph, we know that the inflation rate of Switzerland is quite low. But can you explain how to overcome the inflation rate using a monetary policy?
First of all, I would like to thank to the moderator for asking the question. This is how Switzerland overcome with the inflation and unemployment problem using monetary and fiscal policy. We look at the monetary policy first. There are many problems that every country must face for maintaining and grow a good economy. Switzerland have the problem that they must control to overcome with inflation. The Swiss National Bank sells the short-term bonds from the public, and as a result, this will make people's income decreasing and can affect to the purchasing power. Thus, this also will affect into demand for the goods and services. Also can decrease, and it will force the producer to reduce the price. The raising in the general price can overcome with these tools. The main objective of Swiss National Bank open market operation is to provide liquidity for the money market and steer short-term interest. The Swiss National Bank has able to make liquidity and absorb it again. The Switzerland's government buys short-term bonds from public. The people will get more income and can increasing purchasing power. This also will be increasing the demand for goods and services. In the year of 2007, Swiss National Bank has raising their rate of interest to overcome with inflation, which is the economic problem in their country. According to the statistic has reported, the Swiss National Bank has put on the highest interest rate into 2.05%. The Swiss National Bank able to force the bank rate to put a raise or highest price for borrowing funds. As a result, this can increase the price for borrowing funds and spending. In that case, this will cause to the decreasing in demand for loans. This also one of the factors that can lead for reduce the money supply, and it will affect the aggregate demand to be decreasing. Swiss National Bank has decreased their interest rate into 0.05% in the year of 2008. The Switzerland Central Bank has decreased their rate of interest to overcome with the unemployment problem in Switzerland. Furthermore, the discount rate also can make for loans with less costly and expand a business because it can encourage the businessman to do an investment. Due to that situation, the businessman must hire a lot of workers for produce more goods and services. By these tools, Switzerland can reduce their rate of unemployment in their country. Objective for Swiss monetary policy is to be maintaining the price stability while taking a due account in developing economies. In the year of 2014, the Swiss National Bank has direct with the commercial banks has increasing their interest rate at 3.336% for deposits from the public. Interest rate increasing because it will encourage people to saving more money. When the people in Switzerland are more prefer to saving compared to spending, these tools can reduce money supply. On top of that, it will be decreasing the aggregate of demand and force producer to reducing price. Besides that, Switzerland can overcome inflation problem in their country with raising rate of interest. The Swiss National Bank has decreasing their interest rate into 1.289% in 2008 to overcome with unemployment issues in their country. When the interest rate has decreasing, this can make people to spending more than saving. When the people are more prefer on spending, it will be increasing the aggregate of demand. To produce more goods and services, the manufacturer must hire a lot of workers, and it can open a lot of opportunities job for people that face with unemployment problems.
Now I know about the monetary policy, but how about to overcome the inflation using the fiscal policy?
According to the bar graph, rate of debt has increased into 18.75% in the year of 2010. The rate of debt increased because there is inflation issue that has been happened throughout that year. The government of Switzerland must increase their country debt to overcome this inflation problem. When the Switzerland government put on highest amount of debt, the people will less of income, which it can make the purchasing power to be decreasing. This situation also can affect the demand for goods and services decrease, which will lead to the manufacturers for reduce their price. This tool can help to reach price stability and control an inflation issue in this country. decreasing the debt. The graph has been shown in the year of 2070, rate of debt reduced and decreasing into 17.77%. The reduction rate of debt will be increasing consumption expense and income of the people. When the amount of rate debt decreasing, it can boost and rise the people purchasing power. This can lead to the increasing demand for goods and services. In this situation, the manufacturer must hire a lot of workers to produce more goods and services, which Switzerland can control this problem to handle this unemployment problem. It will open more opportunity job to unemployment people, and the result, it can decrease the rate of unemployment. This also can help for Switzerland's economic growth with successfully. Government increasing the tax. According to the graph, in the January of 2018, the Switzerland government must decrease their spending into 19,770.78 million expenditure to overcome their inflation problem issues. The Switzerland's government must cut off their spending, such as the subsidies, to make sure the people will get less amount of income. This will cause people purchasing power and the demand for the goods and services begin decreasing. In this situation, this will force producers to reduce their price, and it can help their country handle with the rise of general price level problem. Cutting in the government expenditure also help Switzerland to overcome with this inflation issue. Government decreasing the tax. The government spending refers when the public expenditure in goods and services. Government spending policies such as increasing in the budget target, public expenditure, and public work are such a very effective tool to make Switzerland economic growth. Furthermore, in the July of 2020, Switzerland government has increased their spending into 20428.04 million, and this will cause for the people to get more amount of income. This also will be increasing the purchasing power and demand for the goods and services. In that situation, it will make the producer to make more goods and services, which they should hire a lot of workers. This tool can help the Switzerland to reduce their rate of unemployment.
The world right now facing a global problem, which is the pandemic of COVID-19, the virus that caused everything to the world. Dr. Alif, can you tell us the effects of the pandemic to the people in Switzerland and the stimulus package that given by the government to their people?
In this year 2020, we expect will be a great day, but at this year, world must fight the pandemic coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. This pandemic COVID-19 given to all of the world big impact, especially in economic sector. In Switzerland, this pandemic will affect the inflation and the employment. This year start from January, the rate of inflation graph has been increasing into 0.2% from negative 0.1% in November 2019. Switzerland's the most important category in housing, energy, and healthcare. On this pandemic, most of the Switzerland's people suffer because of the rising of general price for goods and services of the importance. This is also affect to people who have lower fixed income to buy needs. This will affect to the decreasing of purchasing power during this pandemic because of the rising general price. When purchasing power are decreased, this also will affect the demand for goods and services. Manufacturers also cannot produce too many goods and services because the decreasing in demanding. If aggregate demand drops, the manufacturer cannot generate any profit, and it can cause
for workers to lose their source of income. Almost 30,000 people lost their job because of coronavirus. According to Switzerland deflation rate, it has been recorded into negative 1.3% in 3rd June of 2020. Every country must their own planning or always find the alternative way to help their citizens, same as Switzerland. Switzerland have already announced the stimulus package to help the citizens, such as employment-related measures and economic stimulus measures. The objective of this stimulus package is same as other countries wish to prevent, safeguard jobs, guarantee wage and support the self-employed. In addition, this stimulus package plays such an important role to protect the field, cultures and sport to bankrupt. The Federal Council has announced a series of federal support packages amounting to 73 billion, equals to 10.4% of 2019 gross domestic product. A first package around 10 billion for partial unemployment compensation, over 1 billion for financial aid to particularly affect firms, about 580 million to loan guarantee for small and medium-sized enterprise, and the rest for the loss compensation for the cancelled events. In addition, a second package is on March 20 worth to 32 billion, which include the extension of short-time work allowances and simplification of the application process. A guarantee program has up to 20 million in order to support bridging loans to small and medium-sized enterprise interest-free, of Social Security contribution payment for affected companies, and extended payment periods for taxes and more. The government also announced that it will provide additional financing help to public transport and rail freight companies, sport organizations, and any program that affected by coronavirus.
Thank you, Dato' Alif, for the explanation. Now, before we end this segment, after all this discussion, all the information given by our guests, what can we conclude here is every country has its own problem and solution. By that, Switzerland also have their solution for the problem of inflation rate and unemployment. The Switzerlands are using the monetary and fiscal policy to overcome the problem in the country. Not only that, they also given the stimulus package to their people during the pandemic of COVID-19. No wonder if Switzerland is known as the world's best economic countries. Alright, our forum has come to the end. Thank you very much for watching. We see you next time. Bye bye.